How you doing? It's Bill Stage. Time for a little behind the business with Thad Shumaker. How are you, Thad?
Good. How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing really well. You've got a, guitar shop here in Davenport. Have you guys even been open a year yet?
Not yet. May 6th will be my official 1 year anniversary date, and unfortunately, I have to stay closed until the 15th, so I can't even celebrate that
Yeah, yeah. Geez, it's been a tough one out there for a lot of businesses, and
But
especially places like yours where you're literally getting handed a piece of equipment that gets, sweat and spit and beer
yep,
and
full of DA.
yeah. So first, before we get into all of that, are you completely shut down? Are you got?
I'm still kind of working part time as I'm getting parts. That's been the biggest problem is trying to get parts. A lot of the parts vendors aren't shipping, or they're only doing limited shipping, and so it's been hard to get even strings. I'm finally just about stocked up on strings again, but yeah, it's that's been the biggest struggle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I come in a few hours every day and try and get a little bit of work done, and what I can't get done now, hopefully when this stuff is over, my customers luckily are pretty understanding right now. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm still trying to work.
That's good. That's good. That's half of the battle, I think. When you did open up almost a year ago, um, was that always the dream for you? How did you decide to
It
open up a
was.
business?
It was. Ever since I was a little kid and went into the Gary's Music Mart in Silvis, got my first guitar, and it was a crappy guitar, and it was constantly having to be fixed. And I would stand there and watch those guys fix it before my guitar lesson or whatever.
Mhm.
And I was infatuated with that. My grandpa, he would buy old fiddles and banjos and stuff at auctions and whatever, and tear them completely apart and rebuild them and rebuild the structure and fix the cracks and whatever else. So
Right.
kind of runs in my family, I guess, a little bit. But since I was a little kid, it's always been my dream to do this. So I was sick of the daily grind. I couldn't stand my job anymore, and I needed to do something. And I told my wife, I said, I need your blessing, because if I don't get your blessing, I'm going to do it anyway, but I might be in trouble. So she gave her blessing, and it's been one thing right after the other, but we're staying strong. We're pulling through.
Yeah.
We got about uh, 8 weeks into being open, I got broken into
Mm.
and robbed, and they took all my cash, all my donations money I had here for Frets for Vets, and that was a big thing to recover from.
Mhm.
Quad Cities music community came together and donated some money, so at least I would have something to put in my register, to replace that. Because unfortunately, money is not covered by your insurance,
Yeah.
so it's not considered important to them, I guess. But you know, and now this year we've got our outbreak of COVID-19. So it just seems like one thing right after the other. But
Yeah.
that's part of life, I guess. Things
It,
we have to deal with.
yeah, it's been a tough run for you for sure. Let's go back to when you first started playing music. You come from a musical family, obviously. Did you
I do.
see your family playing in bands? What was the first
Well,
kind of spark?
I had an uncle, a great uncle actually, that used to play in bands, and he actually played at my mom and dad's wedding reception when they got married. That his band did, but no, I was just always grew up in a musical family. My mom and dad both played piano. My dad played accordion. My brother toyed with guitar a little bit. My grandpa played just about anything with strings on it, kind of like I am. So it runs on both sides of the family, I guess.
Yeah.
And so it's you know I grew up listening to anything from classic rock, which was partially new rock back then, to old bluegrass and country and blues and anything in between. So it was I had a vast liking for all types of music, and again, that just leads me back to what I'm doing now, and
Mhm.
I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, so keeping that variety in what you listen to on a day-to-day basis, that keeps you from getting bored and tired out. What do you do in your business to keep things interesting?
I take on jobs I'm sometimes not quite comfortable with, and just give myself a new challenge, kind of thing. I've got a few mentors out there that I can ask for help if I need it, and the internet's always a great source for things for education also. But that's one of the things I like to do is take on I remember taking on right after I first opened my first neck reset on a 12-string guitar.
Mm,
It was a 1969 Yamaha. It was beat all the heck, and the neck was bowed like a banana, and I had to take it off and fix the truss rod and repair it, and it turned out great. But that was a scary thing for me trying to do that, and so it's things like that that keep the job fresh every day,
hmm.
but rather than just changing strings all day long, or whatever. So
Yeah.
yep.
Did you play in any bands that are you originally from the Quad Cities? That I'm sorry, I don't know
Southern
that.
Cold Valley. I've been in the Quad Cities all but 2 years of my life. I moved down to Florida for a couple of years, but
Gotcha.
yeah, I've played in several different bands over the years. Some of them we did stuff with. Some of them, we didn't make it farther than the basement or the garage, kind of
Yeah.
thing. But in fact, I'm doing the local stage, local music on iRock now,
Hmm.
and I played two of my projects that I had this past week on the show. So
Nice.
music I totally forgot that I even had in the files, but I found it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play this.
Right on. So, do you write songs or mostly cover songs?
um,
What do you do?
a little bit of both. Mostly covers. I try and have, if I'm going to write something, I try and have a writing partner, because I can do the music part of it, but the words don't always come to me. So
Yeah.
I try and write with other people if I do write original stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of covers, and again, anything from classic rock to modern rock to metal to bluegrass to jazz or whatever. I love it all.
Yeah. And when you are sitting down and writing, is it the lyrics? Is it a melody? Where's point one where you go, "Ooh, I might have something."
Sometimes something will come to my head, and a lyric or whatever, or something that's catchy. But normally it's me sitting down with my guitar and just noodling around, and then I'll figure something out, and then I'll play it 50 times over so I don't forget it.
Right.
And
Yeah, that's nice. And nowadays you have recorders right on your phone.
oh
So
yeah,
what we did
yeah,
20 years ago pales in
it's amazing
comparison.
how far technology's come, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Do you have a particular piece of equipment that you just couldn't see life without, whether it's a guitar or amp or
um,
software?
Honestly, my soldering iron, because that's the most used tool in my shop. Whether
Mm,
it's changing pickups or rewiring something, or fixing something electrical on a guitar, that's usually the yeah. I use that every day, day in and day out.
mhm.
Without that thing, I'd be lost.
Yeah. When you first started when you first started your business, like we mentioned almost a year ago,
Yeah.
um, did you have a list of clientele that you've kind of built up over the years? How did you start getting customers?
Back in 2017 is when I came up with my 5-year plan to get the heck out of my daily job that I was doing, and do something. So I started buying up tools and contacting people, and uh, saying, hey, I'm going to start making guitars and fixing guitars. I've been doing this, on the side for years.
Hmm.
And so anyway, long story short, I built a guitar for a customer in Memphis, and who I was just internet friends with, and it just kind of exploded from there.
Mm,
And I definitely outgrew my basement shop pretty fast, with buying all the stuff that I needed. So this year or last year came around and I had to do something, and so that's when it came about. But once people started finding out that I was doing it out of the basement, then I started gaining clientele, and word started spreading. And I'm a social media. I'm on Facebook all the time. Whether even if I'm working, I probably have my Facebook feed pulled up.
Mhm.
So I advertise the hell out of it on Facebook too,
Yeah.
and that helped a lot also in the beginning, and still
Mhm.
helps all day, every day. So
Yeah, word of mouth is a very powerful thing. That's for
most
sure.
definitely, most
Yeah.
definitely.
What's your biggest pain point? Obviously, with the COVID whatnot, is obviously takes precedence over everything. But in your normal day to day, pre-COVID, what's the hardest part of your job?
Um, I wouldn't necessarily say the hardest part of my job, but the hardest part of my life is I live every day with rheumatoid arthritis,
Mm.
and that can affect what I'm doing at my job. My hands will be cramped and sore, and I won't be able to, uh, you know, put a set of strings on that day, for example, just because my fingers don't work, or whatever. So that becomes my biggest pain through doing this. Look, when I'm wiring guitar, if I'm having a bad day with my hands and stuff, trying to put all those little tiny telephone sized wires inside the potentiometers in the backside of the guitar. Sometimes my fingers don't do that, so I have I've adapted from there, and I use like little clamps or little tweezers or whatever, to try and get through that. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's my biggest pain in life is that, and that's part of the reason why I got away from my old job, is because I was a mechanic on gigantic machines, and I just couldn't do it anymore with having the RA. So
Mm.
again, this is a blessing that I was able to do this and fall back on something.
Right. What do you have a favorite band or
Um,
musician?
my favorite musician is probably David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. Favorite guitar player, anyway.
Mhm.
Uh, Favorite musician, or favorite band. I would probably have to say Alice in Chains. They're my Beatles.
Yeah.
Uh, they, their guitar combo and their harmonies together, and just an all around great band.
Mhm.
Um, Second favorite would probably be out of the 90s, also Blind Melon. Very
Mm.
underrated band, short lived because of Shannon Hoon passing away. But
Yeah.
yeah, that would be probably my second favorite. And a lot of my go to listening are those three: Pink
Mhm.
Floyd, Alice in Chains, and Blind Melon. So,
Gotcha. I got to see Blind Melon in Woodstock '94.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Pretty
I did too,
fantastic.
but only on TV.
Yeah. Yes, yes. So, what would you like to see? Let's make believe that a vaccine is just around the corner. Everything gets back to the new normal, at least. What would you like to see your business be like in another 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years, I would like to be able to have 2 to 3 employees and in a bigger location, and you know have maybe an apprentice to help take on some of the work that I'm doing, and make my life a little bit easier.
Mm.
Hopefully, my boy just turned 9, and he built his own guitar. He's built two of them now out of kits, and
Really?
he did everything but the finish. I did the finish work for him. He did all the soldering and everything with my guidance. So
Wow.
he says that he wants to take over the business when I'm old. So
That's great. That's
yeah,
great.
some will follow in my footsteps also. You never know.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's nice to have that kind of goal. I got to keep this thing up and running so that I can give it to my boy.
Yep, yep. That's my main thing. I told my wife, I'll risk losing my entire life savings and everything try and make this work. And it's just that it's that deep in my heart. I don't care about the end of my life. I care about my near future kind of thing, and what I can do to keep the business going.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, is there anything else we want to get out to the Quad Cities for people to know about the shop?
Um, we're gonna do whatever we can to help everybody out. And like I say, I'm still having trouble getting parts, but as parts come in, I'm gonna get that stuff done, and hopefully, within a month or two, we'll be back into, like you say, a new normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we might all have to wear masks in public or whatever, but at least we can go back to our, somewhat normal lives.
Right.
And I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here. Got a great location here right up the street from the 97X studios on Brady Street. And my landlords are great. My neighbors are all great. So it's just a great place to be in.
Yeah.
And I want to thank everybody who has helped me along the way. So
very
also
cool.
would like to give a shout out to Don Gustafson doing the QC Hive thing, because he's helping so many people, myself included, with this QC Hive thing. And it's just, the Quad Cities people are great. They're donating to people they've never met in their lives, and trying to help everybody out so everybody gets through this. So that is just awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. Speaking of shout outs, I always like to end the interview with maybe you've got somebody in mind, a business owner that maybe has a cool backstory, or just a business you'd like to see have a little bit more love and support this time of the year. Is there anybody that comes to mind that you'd like to give a shout out to that maybe you would like to see on this program?
Sure. My friend Alicia up at Aha Holisticals upstairs. She's doing everything she can to help people through this and try and stay open. And she sells holistical medicine, so kratom, CBD, stuff like that. And people can't go without that stuff. It really does help people for their pain and whatever. So she's done her research, and she's done everything to make everybody else's lives better, whether hers is not great at the time or whatever. She doesn't care. She'll drop everything for her customers. And so she would be the one who I would volunteer for that.
All right. Very cool. Thad, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you very much, Bill. I truly appreciate it, my friend.
Absolutely. Go check out that Shumaker's Guitar Works up there, just right next to Aldi on Brady Street in Davenport. Yep. Thank you very much, man.
Building next to Aldi's. Can't miss the radio tower on top of the building.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Find them on Facebook. What's a good way for people to get a hold of you?
Shoot me a Facebook message. My voicemail is sometimes screwy, so calling doesn't always work, but text message always works also. And so, yeah, look me up on Facebook. I'm like I say, I'm always on there. So.
All right. Yep. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, Bill. Thank you, buddy. Have a good day.
You too, man. Thanks.